Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It is July. It's 2019. And I know I've been hitting you with these a lot lately. But I think that this stuff right here is incredibly important. And it isn't just for the end of times or anything like that. It's for weather warfare. There's a reason that I prep. And I think there's a reason you should too. Look at all the earthquakes and every other wacky thing that's been going on. Look at the storms that they're conjuring up down south. You see what I'm saying? Being prepared, having food to feed yourself, your family, and having the ability to have clean water is important. This Patriot Pantry helps me, and it helps you. If it didn't, I wouldn't run it. And that's just a fact. Anybody that's ever met me knows for a fact that I prepare, and I have this stuff in my vehicle, my house, and my office. So you should too. Or don't. But if you do want it, links are in the description. Check this out.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 23rd of July, 2019. Can you guys hear me all right? There's a few people in the chat. Broken Reality's got the wrench. Peabody's mom has the wrench. Can you guys hear me okay? Audio's good? 5x5. Sandra Martin says 5 thumbs up. What's up? Brandon Ryderer says, sounds good. Be happy. Gretchen M. Mark Sherry. The Meeskang. Am I saying that right? Brian Wood. What's up, brother? R. Minor. What's up? Fred For Real. What's up? Broken Reality. Thank you. Julie. All good. Sandra Martin says, what's up? Rich Fighter Line said he's fixing his truck. I'm not fixing my truck. It's raining out. Brian Wood's ready. You guys are ready. Peabody's mom, you should have a wrench. I think you do have the wrench. You just made you a mod. At any rate. All right. I'm making this live stream right now because I was reading the comments in that video that I mirrored from Many Fish YouTube channel. I've had a chance to meet Many Fish. He's a good dude. He's a hardworking dude. He is from an incredibly similar background as myself. But unlike myself, and let me remind people, I am an asshole with a laptop. That's it. I'm a dude that started making videos back in 2010, pointing my cell phone at the sky going, is anybody else seeing this stuff? And then once you really start researching that stuff, you jump down the rabbit hole. Now, lately, and a lot, and it happens, especially when you expose other channels and such, I've been getting attacked in the comments for people saying I am spreading false information. Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Spreading false information would be telling everybody that the president is sending them secret messages using gematria through Twitter and other formats, and that we might have to have martial law because the military is in control and Donald Trump has taken over the airplanes and is now spraying us with chemtrails of the healthy nature. That would be bad information. What I talk about is things that interest me and apparently interest several million other people as well. But at the end of the day, everyone has to do their own research. My answer to absolutely everything is be ready. And in the country that I grew up in a long time ago, being ready is just what you did as an adult. If the power goes out, if everything goes horribly wrong, you were able to take care of yourself. You didn't have to rely on FEMA. You didn't have to shelter in place. You weren't easily triggered. But these days, they put a label and a tag on all this stuff, and they call it prepping and doomsday people, et cetera, et cetera. My answer to everything is Jesus Christ and God was real. This is one of the videos I put up in 2013. Because this is how I started my channel. This is me walking in the woods because this is the kind of stuff that I do. And I've always done it. It's what I do. I'm making a fire in snow. And I'm showing people how to make a fire in snow. And I'm not using a lighter or gasoline or a book of matches or anything like that. Do you see what I'm saying? This is me showing people how to get all the things that you could possibly carry on your back into a backpack. And I'm showing them what the best things to carry and use are. Things that if you're out there for an extended period of time, the power doesn't come back on, the earthquake took out the entire infrastructure, this will allow you to filter and find your own water. Hunt, trap, and skin your own things. Use solar energy to keep your batteries, flashlights, etc. going. Do you see what I'm saying? But this is the genesis of my channel. This is where it all came from. I can't believe I'm still wearing the same shoes right now. That's crazy. But this is an old video. I put this up in 2016, but this was a re-upload because I put this up in like 2014 originally. At any rate, here's a little thing right here. Let's see this. This is the video I put up this morning. And here's one of the... When you point out another channel, this is for the good of the truth community. Anybody that's claiming to be a Christian or claiming to be a truther should be pointing out the fact that this channel, and we know, is a complete hoax, completely and entirely. Saying that Donald Trump, like everything is fine, no one has to do anything. Q and Donald Trump are working with the military. Everything is good to go. Nothing to see here, folks. Keep it moving. Donald Trump is a billionaire. Donald Trump is a reality show actor. Donald Trump has been bailed out every time he's gone bankrupt by Israeli interests. Do you see what I'm saying? Donald Trump is a Jesuit-schooled dude. He's not for us. He's just the latest person they put in charge of the corporation of the United States. Do you see what I'm saying? And to a lot of people, that breaks their heart because nobody wants to think that there is no future. Do you see what I'm saying? Nobody wants to think that. But sadly, if you're paying attention, if you're watching the national debt, if you're reading between the lines on the news where they're showing some cosmetically altered woman wearing purple or blue, there's a reason for that. You understand that there's a need to be ready. There's a need to be prepared. And long story short is everything that they do is to hide God. Do you want to know what Q is? Do you want to see what Q probably almost most definitely is? It's IBM's version of the D-Wave quantum computer. Do you think it's a complete coincidence that IBM's super quantum computer is called the Q? Do you see what I'm saying? Is it starting to make a little bit of sense now? But again, let me stay on point here. The reason I'm even talking about this is because when you go after channels like this, I have no problem with this person personally because I don't even know if this person is a person. But I do know that anyone that's telling everybody, hey, stop worrying about those chemtrails you're seeing every single solitary day in the sky. It's all healthy, good chemicals that Donald Trump's spraying. That is ludicrous. Do you see what I'm saying? But when you start doing things like that, you start seeing comments like this. I don't know who this dude is, but I decided to pin it. I've seen the video of you and the guy from ODD website throwing Masonic hand signs. Are you a Mason? Please explain that video. Well, first of all, I didn't make the video saying that myself and ODD were throwing Masonic hand signs. Somebody else did. Again, if I replied to every single solitary video that has my name in the title, I'd never make videos about anything else. I'd never actually leave this chair, so I don't. But today, I'll respond. And here's my response. I asked, are you an idiot or a troll or both? I thought that was that was a reasonable question. Shaking hands isn't the private domain, spelled wrong, of Freemasonry. Because believe it or not, me shaking ODD's hand when I saw him is what grown men do. So that's what we did do. But the other thing is ODD and I both share something in common that is not Freemasonry. We're both convicted felons. Now, a simple, easy Google search of the Freemasonic Club rule book is you can't be a felon. So there's that. But when you start making videos like this, you start getting comments like this more and more and more and more and more. Do you see what I'm saying? All of this stuff right here, like when I put the original video up about and we know. I said it right at the very beginning. This video won't do my channel any favors whatsoever at all. This person's channel is getting 200,000 views, spreading complete and total absolute bullshit. And my channel's twice the size, and I'm only getting 1/10 of the views. Now, that sucks for me, but to be perfectly honest, it doesn't make any difference how many views anybody's getting anymore, but it's a litmus test. It's a harbinger. It tells you who Google and YouTube approve of and who Google or YouTube don't approve of. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense now? At any rate, moving on. Let me share the screen again. I had to change my shirt because there was chocolate on it. I looked like a dope, so I did. Somebody sent me this link this morning. This isn't the first time we've seen this. I've seen this before. But scientists planning to wipe out the Van Allen radiation belts with radio waves. Well, there's so many things wrong with that entire title. It's ridiculous. But the funny thing is people should look at this as grown adults using just a tad of common sense and think, so these guys are going to wipe out these magical, invisible radiation belts that are, it's like sitting in a microwave for 2 weeks. And yet they tell us that the Apollo guys flew through this in a magical little space capsule. And when questioned about flying through the Van Allen belts, most of the astronauts acted shocked. Oh, did we fly through those things to get to the moon? I don't remember. I don't recall. Well, in a real world, if we went to the moon, and in a real world, if these were really astronauts, the Van Allen belts would have been the main primary focus of everything, because allegedly the Van Allen radiation belts cover an enormous portion of the sky. What they're calling Van Allen radiation belts are secretly the firmament. But let's play along for a little while, shall we? In order to get to the moon, they would have had to have flown through an unbelievable amount of radiation. Now, remember, this is their story. It's not true, but still. Even though it's a lie, they have to stick to their own lie. If they're going to fly through this, they would have had to have made some sort of a ship that could get through this. And they didn't. Anybody like myself who's gone to a museum and saw an exact replica of the space capsule that allegedly went to the moon, when you see it in person, you think to yourself, hey, this is just like a beer can that a child made. This certainly couldn't have brought anybody any place whatsoever at all. And yet they tell us the little space capsule on top of a rocket went up to the moon. It detached from the rocket. It turned into a lunar landing module, somehow grew legs, gold-plated aluminum foil all over it, landed on the moon, didn't leave a crater. Nobody remembers how they got there. No one remembers if there were stars or not. And then this lunar module lifted off again and then turned into a space capsule again and landed in the ocean. That happened. That's the story. And it's total, complete, and utter bullshit. But I digress. Now, there was another fella in here in the comment section that said, they're just censoring you because you're using bad information, etc., so forth, and blah, blah, blah. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not telling people that Donald Trump is spraying vitamins on us from the sky, but somebody is. And it's effing ludicrous. Do you see what I'm saying? Clint Pollard said the volume was too low. Believe it or not, commenting that the volume was too low doesn't change the volume. Sometimes it happens. I made the video early in the morning. I apologize. Believe it or not, see this little thing? You can turn this. Perfect. And the volume goes up. Sometimes it happens. My apologies. At any rate, I'm noticing a lot when you open YouTube, when you open any one of your feeds, they've got all these stories down here. Do you see this? All these different stories. And the one that really caught me lately was this. This is the powers that be. All of the media is owned by the same cabal. Do you see what I'm saying? All of the media is owned by the same cabal. Am I not screen sharing? I'm not. What a dope. My bad. Stand by. All right, let me jump in the chat real quick while I'm effing this all up. I need a butler, man. I need a butler or a technology person. Every time I get a technology person, they make me a website poorly, and then it fails, and they bail on me. So that's lame. All right, 823 people are in the chat right now. Human Boy is LOLing because it is what it is. Jim Williams thinks vitamins, but yeah, but it's laughable. It's ludicrous. It's ridiculous, right? And yet they're completely allowing this dude to do what it is he wants. He's getting more views than he has subscribers in 2 to 3 days. It doesn't really actually work like that. Believe it or not, being on YouTube since 2010, you pick up a few hints, tips, tricks here and there. Do you see what I'm saying? At any rate. All right. KBD, what's up? Jesus loves you all for eternity. That's a good name. Wise Dove. If Trump was stopping chemtrails, he'd be the first one to tell you without a doubt. Do you see what I'm saying? Without a doubt. I completely and totally agree. But let me jump back on this real quick. Humans aren't designed to be happy, so stop trying. That's the mainstream. That's the elitists that own all of the media, all of the radio stations. They're telling you that you're not supposed to be happy because science. Because science. That's it. And then they show you a drawing of your brain. See that? Clearly, you're not supposed to be happy. Don't believe the hype, okay? Don't click on these things. Don't believe it whatsoever at all. Or do what you want. You know what I'm saying? The other day, I was accused of leading a cult. I'm leading a cult. When is the last time you heard a YouTube channel constantly remind you that they are simply and only an asshole with a laptop? The thing about getting to a couple hundred, few thousand subscribers, etc., some people are under the illusion that if they see you on a screen like this one right here, they equate that to television, which also equates to the predictive programming that people you see on television are of a better caliber of person than you or I, or they're stars. Well, that's kind of trickled over into YouTube. That's not my thing. That's not my deal. That's not what I do. I know a lot of things, and I can prove a lot of things, and I bring a lot of people on, and I talk with a lot of people that were in positions to know. Do you see what I'm saying? When I started talking about the flat earth, I came out with it so slowly because you got to prove it, right? You got to prove it. Well, it turns out that I bumped into several people over the years that have the ability to go into airplanes at 70,000 plus feet, things that normal civilians can't do. And they said, yes, indeed, it is totally flat. Now, that explains why for years I was looking at stars through telescopes, cameras, etc., and wondering why they look like they were underwater. Well, because they are. Water's above, water's below. Do you see what I'm saying? So for people that think I'm leading a cult, well, if this is a cult, it's the worst cult ever because the leader is constantly telling you he's not the leader whatsoever at all. Do you see what I'm saying? Anything I tell you, I will put links in the comment section almost every single solitary time so you can see it for yourself. You don't think that they've come up with a way to use the screens that we're using right now to control your mind or make suggestions in your mind? They do it all the time. I just showed you one. Do you see what I'm saying? And then better yet, I even showed you the mountain of patents that go back to the early 60s where they were trying to use computers to not only control you, but even the guy sitting next to you who's not using your computer. Yeah, there's an app for that. Do you see what I'm saying? When you see stuff like this is just laughable and ludicrous. Anybody with any type of a science background or any type of common sense can look at this and go, well, they're going to blow this entire thing that's, according to their graphic, it's multiple times larger than the planet Earth. If the Earth was a small ball of stone and buildings and people and animals and dirt and grass and water and such floating in nothing. While it's floating, it's rocketing through it's all completely laughable. But they put this out and people believe it. They put this out and several people, if not several 100,000 people today are going to read this and go, you know what? I'm not supposed to be happy, so I will stop trying. Don't believe that. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for this. Do you know what I'm saying? And as a matter of fact, Don't fall for this either. If you really think that Donald Trump and Q are working with the military, there's no reason for secrecy. If Q and Trump and the military are all in force together, they don't have to be secret, because you know what? There's nobody else that's above that. If any of this were real, they wouldn't have to do this secretly to some YouTube channel through secret codes and messages and such on Twitter. If Trump had the backing of the military and they knew everything was as fucked up as it is right now, and all this Q, remember? Q, they wouldn't have to hide whatsoever at all. If Donald Trump was doing anything for anybody that was actually good, believe it or not, he would have already tweeted about it. It would be on the mainstream news. He'd probably hold a press conference, but he's not. And you know why? Because he's not. Because it's all complete and total utter bullshit. Anything that YouTube or Google is pushing is false information. Do you see what I'm saying? Does it make sense now? And I'm not talking to all of you guys whatsoever at all, but I am talking to the new subscriber or the new person that jumps in the chat and sees these people doing exactly what their job is. Exactly what I explained this entire video was about. There are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of trolls on YouTube. It's their job. It's what they're here for. They're here to leave a comment to make you think something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at this. Oh, this is just an innocent comment. Well, do you know how many people make videos about me? How many people make videos about ODD? A Masonic hand sign? I shook the dude's hand. If that's a Masonic hand sign, well then, oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. And again, a little bit of research would say, everyone knows Richie's a felon. That's pretty easy to figure out. And they don't let felons in. But I digress. At any rate, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I already put a video up on the main channel. Adam J. Kudlak said Trump is the #1 shill for Israel. I totally, completely agree. I completely agree. You guys are killing me with the names. Kai Tamanini. Whoever thinks Trump is good, working for Jesus Christ, yeah, you can't say that necessarily, but I hear you. I get it. Waters Above says, we do not consent. That's another thing, too. YouTube gave me a copyright strike on that video, We Do Not Consent, where it's a poem that I wrote and that I read. Somehow they found copyrighted material in there. That's how it rolls when you're saying what they don't want you to say. At any rate, Richie from Boston, like, share, subscribe. Doesn't really make any difference. I'm out.
About this idea of re-engineering vitamins. You clearly saw that something was kind of broken when it came to like going to the store and getting a multivitamin.
I'm fairly certain you can see right behind me the brand new healthy, secretly coded for only Kabbalists that can understand gematria, that these chemtrails that you're seeing sprayed right now, those are totally packed with vitamins and minerals. They're simply spraying them in the same grid pattern to block the sun entirely, like they always do, to throw off the deep state. Do you realize how ridiculous this is? People would rather listen to absolute nonsense from a channel that just popped up not even a year ago. Do you see what I'm saying? It's astounding to me. Hey, look at that, huh? Look at those healthy chemtrails, packed with vitamins and minerals. Fresh from Donald Trump's ovens to yours. This guy is telling us that he's getting secret messages from QAnon, which is complete and total bullshit, and from Donald Trump telling us that everything is fine, that they're now spraying healthy chemtrails in the sky for everybody to enjoy. Okay? This is bullshit. This person is either the most gullible, under the spell person walking the face of the earth right now, or he's one of these people. People are pointing fingers at Venezuela when the United States currently we're probably in more debt than the entire rest of the earth combined, and people think all is well. Do you know what I'm saying? Absolutely, completely, and totally unbelievable to me. Once in a while, they don't chemtrail. Or they don't chemtrail where we can see.
but it never ends. And a orange-haired billionaire, Zionist, Israel-loving, multi-billionaire puppet isn't going to stop shit. It's astonishing to me how many people are sending out this meme. Do you know what I mean? These are healthy chemtrails. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, and yet people are literally buying it and running with it. I'm seeing it. People are sending me links from Facebook, and I'm seeing it on Twitter. People need to wake up. They're censoring the living shit out of anyone that dares tell anything even close to the truth. And people that are pushing healthy chemtrails are getting 250,000 views. That's what we call a litmus test, folks.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Glad you could make it.
Wow, it's you and Fred!
Yep, the most famous men.
Too. Trump told New York Magazine, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do. And many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it."